You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 36. I'm your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Before we bring on today's guest, we got something to talk about, good people. As I told you all a couple weeks ago, I'm big on personal development, and right now I'm in the process of rereading Atomic Habits by James Clear. I read it a couple years ago, and while I applied some of the concepts, I wanted to reread it, and let me tell you, I've spotted a profound concept, very practical, and man, I'm sure someone out there is going to benefit from it. Let me read this quote. When preparation becomes a form of procrastination, you need to change something. You don't want to merely be planning. You want to be practicing. James Clear. There's a concept in the book where he talks about how the mistake a lot of smart people make is mistaking motion for action. And let me explain how he breaks it down in the book. Motion, these are the times when we're planning, strategizing, and learning everything we need to learn about a goal or adventure we want to embark on. Prime example, if you want to lose weight, we can get caught up in this whole thing of planning what gym I'm going to sign up for, strategizing, what meal plan am I going to use, what weight loss, what training split am I going to use, and learning. We can get caught up in the whole learning thing, going to YouTube University and watching all these videos. And while all of that motion and planning and strategizing is great, they produce no results. At some point in time, you're going to have to take action in order to get results. I love that concept, man. Motion versus action. Don't get me wrong. You do need motion to get started. You need to plan and strategize and learn all you need to learn about anything, whether it is to lose weight, whether it is to start a business, whether it is to start a YouTube channel. You need to be in motion. But at some point in time, you need to take action. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I'm sure somebody out there who has a goal is going to help you. You've been in motion long enough. You've been planning and strategizing for a couple of years. Now it's time to take action. Now it's time to get to it. All right? That's all we got to talk about, good people. On with today's show. Today's guest, he is the founder and owner of Dwella, as well as CleanHop. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure you all will be inspired by his story. Let's give a warm Gumptown round of applause for Luke Easley. Luke, how's it going, man?
Doing well. Glad to be on.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you. First things first, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it over with me for a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to speaking with you more and excited to be here.
Yes, sir. Of course, we're here to talk about Dwella as well as CleanHop. But before we go there, let's get to know the man behind these brands. What's your story?
Growing up, I kind of was always interested in real estate, and especially kind of when I got into college around 2012, 2013, graduated in 2013. And, you see the TV shows and flipping houses and remodeling and all those types of things. And it really kind of sparked my interest. And then the whole tiny house movement started, early 2010, something like that. And TV shows started to come out, the Netflix documentaries about it and all that stuff. And started getting interested in tiny homes and living in like RVs, doing things like that. And kind of the whole general unique living concept really just sparked my interest. And I, watching YouTube and listening to other podcasts kind of helped me learn some things. And once I graduated college, I had my previous career is actually in graphic design and web design. And that's what I kind of studied in college. I didn't officially major in it, but just wound up being pretty good at it and got a decent job doing that. Did that for about 5-6 years until I lost my last job in 2019, December 2019, and had a good career, kind of marketing stuff, web design, graphic design, web development, things like that. And 2019, that kind of ended. I just decided to kind of step away from it. I had been doing Airbnb for a few years, and now I'm full time. And I said I'm not looking back. So, but really, 2017, around that time, I bought my first house here in Montgomery, and I grew up in Prattville, a large family, and after I graduated, I moved here to be closer to work and everything at the time, and started getting more involved in real estate. There's a real estate club here in Montgomery that meets once a month, and met several local investors through there that owned a few rental houses and things like that. And each month they talk about a different topic. And one month was how to manage rentals, and the next month was about, creative ways to get financing for a property, things like that. And through that, I started getting interested in buying rental homes, and looked into that. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I was like, well, either I have to come up with the money myself to buy a separate property other than my personal home, or have to bring in an investor or something like that. I wasn't great at networking at the time, and I was a little intimidated to go up and ask someone for money when I didn't really know what I was doing, And then Airbnb started, really getting big around that time, 5-6 years ago. And I stayed in an Airbnb one time, and it was just a really cool experience. Everything went really smooth. They have the app that you use, and it just made check-in really nicely straightforward. You could self-check-in with a keypad on the door, and I really liked it. And I said, I bet I can try this with my spare rooms in my house. So I had 2 spare rooms upstairs, had one bathroom up there, and I went and bought some cheap furniture at the local flea market and threw it in the room, snapped some pictures with my phone, and put it on Airbnb. Within a couple of days, I had a few bookings. I was like, oh, really cool. Having my first guest come, I want to make the experience awesome for them, and I was really excited about it. Had the guy come. Everything was great. He stayed the weekend. And then a few months go by, and I start watching more YouTube videos and how to basically run your Airbnb better, how to manage things better. And being in the Investors Club each month, I was seeing a lot of people that had successful rental property businesses, and they seem to manage things well. They seem to really care about the business and about the tenants. And I said, that's what I want to do. So instead of buying the rental properties, I found out that if you don't have a lot of money, there's ways to make money kind of in the real estate industry, and that was through Airbnb. So, and here we are now, 2022 now, and we got several properties here. We're in Montgomery, and we're also in Birmingham. And yeah, things are going well. And this, I kind of skipped ahead, I guess, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay, no, great story, man, and hats off to you for being able to pivot at that moment. You say you went to school for web design, graphic design, and the last role that you were in ended up not working out for you, but sounds like it was a blessing in disguise for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like I said, I had my Airbnb properties going for a few years before I lost my last job, and I wouldn't take back any of the graphic design marketing experience at all. Actually, I used that experience and channeled it into my business with Airbnbs, and it really made me stand out, among the other people on the website. So, and in the local market here. So, using my design experience and marketing to really make things look more professional, so.
Yes, sir. There you go. Transferable skills, taking those skills and utilizing it now. Nah, that's great stuff. So let's talk about Dwella and CleanHop. What products and services does each business offer?
Well, Dwella, we have It's a short-term rental business. The term Airbnb has been kind of coined to refer to short-term rentals. And what that means is typically a property will be available for a nightly stay. It could be someone's extra house that they have or a spare room in someone's house, and they rent it on a nightly basis. And similar to a hotel, but you get that more personal touch, and you get to meet the owner of the property at times. So with Dwella, we really try to focus on downtown areas in cities in Alabama right now, the major cities in Alabama, and we'll take apartment complexes, and we work out contracts with the owners of the property to go in and lease the property for a number of years, and we'll furnish it all and have guests come in, tenants come in on a nightly basis, sometimes a monthly basis, and everything's furnished, everything's provided. We make sure you have coffee, all your linens, towels, very similar to a hotel, but you get that more, I guess, homey touch and that local touch. We're going to provide you guidebooks that show local restaurants. We've partnered with local restaurants as well to provide discounts and coupons, and advertise those types of things within each of the spaces that we have. So, and then CleanHop, with using my experience in the short-term rental industry, about probably 8 months ago, CleanHop was just born in August, basically. There was a huge need for cleaners, basically, for someone that was reliable, that knew the unique challenges that go into turn over a short-term rental property. So between the checkout time of the guest that morning to the check-in time of the next guest late that afternoon, there's a lot that goes on, has to be done in there. And me knowing exactly what to do, I said, well, there's a lot of people I know that have these type of properties in the River Region area and really could utilize this service and would really need it and benefit from it. And, they wanted reports showing if guests had damaged anything when they left, if someone had smoked in the property, things like that. The owners want to know all that stuff. So we'll provide them videos, photos, all those types of things, and have a detailed inspection done. And we have an app that has checklists and everything for all the cleaners to get the job done right. And from there, within a few months, we grew to we're cleaning my properties and a friend of mine's properties that also has some short-term rentals. That's about 20 properties there. Within a few months, we picked up about 10 more. So now we're cleaning 60 Airbnbs, which is about a third of all the Airbnbs in Montgomery right now. And so we've got a great team and really tried to nail down processes and things like that to get to where it is now. So, and we're just specializing in that turnover process.
Wow, that's great, man. So in the midst of you being in the space that you're in with short-term rentals, you saw a need for a cleaning service. So you filled the gap that was in the industry, man. That's powerful, man. That's some good stuff, man. Like, seriously, because it's that's what it's all about, man. A lot of times we have we look externally for solutions. A lot of times we already have the answers to our problems, and that's great that you were able to look within and figure out, hey, we need this here anyway, so why don't I bring it? Man, that's great stuff for real.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little crazy. A lot of late nights, and I still don't get much sleep nowadays. But it's worth it. Like I said, when I lost my job, I decided to go full time into all this, and honestly, it's just been, I don't mind staying up, doing those late nights. I don't mind waking up early in the morning and driving to Birmingham in the middle of the night or whatever it may be to get stuff done, because I know this is mine that I built, and it's been a lot of fun. So
Yes, sir. Much respect to the grind, man. And so whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to cover three things. I like to talk about the aha moment, action, and audacity. And it sounds like you had your aha moment after you lost the last 9 to 5 situation. That was your aha moment that sparked the idea to go all in with short-term rentals. So we can go right into the action portion. So from the time you lost your job and had the aha moment, how long did it take you to come up with a name and create logos and all that stuff?
well, so for Dwella specifically, I started that back in 2018, and I had a full-time job at the time still, and I had still had a full-time job up until end of 2019. I just wasn't to a point where I could totally, quit yet. And but using my graphic design experience and the experience that I had, again, channeled that into this business within, a couple months after I'd seen the YouTube videos of what I wanted to do, and kind of learned a little more about how to run the business. I knew what to do to create a logo. I knew what to do to put social media platforms together, to put brochures together, things like that, and create some really nice documents to take to our customers, to take to property owners that we work with and utilize their properties. And there was a lot to learn after that. You have to set up all your business entities and your bank accounts and all that stuff, which I had no experience doing any of that. But again, through the real estate investors club that I had been involved in, a lot of folks in there really helped me know what to do and kind of the next steps to take just to run a business in general. So, and that was back in 2018. CleanHop specifically, it really got started back in August, and maybe it was July, something like that, last summer of 2021. And I had the name actually already for that a year previous to that. So back in 2020, I thought of like a laundry kind of service that would deliver things. And we would our logo has kind of bunny ears on the O of the hop, of the word hop. And I thought about, we're hopping from place to place, customer to customer, and we're cleaning laundry. So it originally started as actually a laundry delivery service, but it never really, I didn't do much with it. I basically just had the name, the logo, and a few spreadsheets that I had laid out processes in, but that was about it. And then a year went by, and then I said, well, I'll use the CleanHop name. I already have some things set up for that. And we went into the short-term rental cleaning service with it from there. So as far as creating the logo for it, again, using my design experience, I kind of came up with that, and actually I used another designer I met online, and was able to get that created for me. But I'm very picky about things, and I feel like if I did the work myself, I just would have never been satisfied with it. So I said, I need to give it off to someone else. They come up with it. They see things, may see it in a different way than I do. So, yeah, and it was the same with the Dwella logo, and had someone else design it for me. So, and I'm, pretty pleased with how things are going so far.
Makes sense, man. Makes sense. So you already had Dwella, you already had that in place while you were working full time. So okay, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
So it was easy.
Yeah, it was a little crazy having the full-time job and Dwella, because I was, I had a few properties that we were doing at the time when I still worked full time, and I was going on the lunch breaks to clean properties. I didn't have cleaners hired yet or anything like that, and I wound up showing up late to work a good bit, and leaving early sometimes when I shouldn't have left. And it was all worth it. Maybe I wasn't the greatest employee in the world, but it's not for 9 to 5 is not for everybody. So
man,
it all worked out in the end.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. And I was gonna say, like, some people just aren't meant to be employees. You sound like you were a horrible employee, and nothing wrong with that, because you're doing great things in the entrepreneurship space, man. So nah, it's no knock on that, man. I
Oh yeah,
mean, because and I'm pretty sure wherever you were working, it couldn't have been fulfilling. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been leaving the way you were leaving.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I like my jobs that I had
Mhm.
to a point, and I don't know. I think everyone kind of has that where you're in a job for a while and it's great for a while, and it's like maybe there's always a yearning for something else, you know, or something more, or more control over something, and being able to do something on your own, you know. So I don't know, or maybe that's just me. Maybe not everyone has that. So
Oh, no doubt, man. I mean, I believe a lot of people have that epiphany, but not many people act on it. You one of the very few that actually acted on it. And don't get me wrong, like that's a feeling that I definitely look forward to feeling one day. Just that full time entrepreneurship thing, because I still work a 9 to 5, and the thing is, um, I know it's a mindset shift to come out of this 9 to 5 thing, going into full time entrepreneurship, and it takes you have to be ready for that because trust me, and of course when you work 9 to 5, that paycheck coming first and the 15th or whatever. When you out there on your
yeah,
own, it's
yeah.
like if it's to be, it's up to me. Let's let's get to this last portion. Let's talk about the audacity. It takes courage and audacity to actually start something, put it out there to the world to see, review, like, dislike. Who or what gave you the courage, the audacity to step out there?
Um, Man, that's a great question. You know, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could pinpoint it to a single person.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that really helped. I mean, my family was always encouraging to me. I was raised in a large family, oldest of 9 kids, and grew up in Prattville. And you know, my family always raised us to be pretty independent. And it takes a lot of willpower. You need help from others, definitely, but it takes a lot of willpower to do it as well. So personal willpower. And I think some of the folks um, in the real estate investors meetup, which I still go to every month, and now actually um, I run it with along with a guy named Mark Jennings. He's a local CPA here. He started it 15 years ago, and he was a big help. We had a lot of conversations at his office. He does my taxes for me, and he has a lot of rental properties himself, and just about business in general. And um, you know, to be wary of. He's very wary of partnerships. You know, he would kind of tell me about things. You know, things he wished he had done better. And I'm trying to think of anybody else. I mean, there was a lot of people involved that really just encouraged me, and you know, uh, some guys on YouTube as well. You know, there's people out there you see in videos that encourage you from people speaking or something like that, and you don't know them personally. Um, but I will say, I don't know if you know who Grant Cardone is.
No
Are you
doubt.
familiar with him?
Mr.
Yeah,
10X himself.
yeah, yeah. Um, it was about 2 years ago. I guess it was 2 years ago. He was on the Undercover Billionaire show. Did you ever watch that?
I didn't get a chance to catch that particular episode, but
Oh my
but
goodness.
tell me about
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's so good. Um, so basically, you have billionaires on there, and they're given like $100, and the thing is completely, you know, it's completely real. They're put in a little small town, some state that they've never been in before, and they're given $100 in an old truck, and no one knows who they are. You know, they may be a billionaire, but it doesn't mean you're a celebrity and you're famous. You know, so um, you may not be well known. So they put him in this small town. He has to go meet people and try to start a business. And within 90 days, that business has to be valued at least $1 million, or he has to put $1 million of his own cash into the business. And that's what the whole premise of the show. So they have each season they took 3 billionaires and put them in these small towns and did this. So it's just a phenomenal show and super. inspiring. But Grant Cardone, he blew all the other billionaires out of the water. Their business valued at the end of the season, valued at $1 million. His was $5 million. And 90 days he did this from nothing, and I'm sitting there watching it, and it's like late at night, and things click in my mind, and just the way he talks and how he pushes people, but he does it in such a way that's like so encouraging, and never like he's never mean about it or anything like that. And follow him on Instagram and all that, but he's one of my favorites, and I still watch him almost every day. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Now that's good stuff, man. And I mean, like you were saying, you have a great family unit. Like literally, like that's having those people in your corner and encouraging you. That is enough to give you the courage, the audacity to step out there and start these companies that you started. And that's good stuff, because we all need a good circle of friends around us,
Yep,
good circle
absolutely.
of people. I'm sorry, not friends, good circle of people. But no, that's good stuff, man. So you've done great things with Dwella as well as CleanHop. So that leads me into my next portion. Let's talk about vision. What are your short-term and long-term goals for each business?
Man, I'll say, short-term goals to me are kind of end of 2022. What would that look like? So, I've gotten a lot better at networking and things like that, and meeting people, and meeting with people that could be potential investors, things like that. And I've created the presentations. I have the design experience to do all of that and make it look real nice and have a decent pitch. And so we've had multiple meetings in the past few months, and really looking to pick up more properties, grow to Birmingham and Huntsville, hopefully by end of December 2022. And that's specifically with Dwella. Have the short-term rental properties. Huntsville's growing like crazy. One of the fastest growing cities in the Southeast right now. Huge tech industry that's developing there. They can't build housing fast enough. So that's kind of short-term vision. Long-term is expansion into the Southeast. So really my ultimate goal was, hey, I want to showcase Alabama. I want to showcase the major cities here. Montgomery, Birmingham, Huntsville, Mobile, and with Dwella, and then expand into the Southeast and other cities, Atlanta and Jackson, Mississippi, Jacksonville, Florida, Nashville, and cities like that. So, and specifically, maybe not even the major cities like Atlanta. Maybe even Atlanta's too big, but the more medium-sized cities, because those really don't get, I feel like, a lot of attention at times, when medium-sized cities across the country right now are making a huge comeback. I mean, you look at Birmingham, you look at Montgomery, Mobile, and Huntsville. Every time I'm in their downtown area or driving around town, there's construction going on everywhere. New hotels, new apartments, new businesses, whatever it may be. Larger cities, you may see some of it, but a lot of them are already so packed. So, and I feel like these medium-sized cities are going to be your larger cities in the next 10 to 20 years, So anyway, that's short-term and long-term vision for that. CleanHop, kind of the same way. Dwella and CleanHop are so reliant on the short-term rental industry that they kind of grow parallel to each other. So as Dwella grows, so will CleanHop. We like to have offices in other cities like Birmingham, and get more short-term rentals to do the turnovers for there, grow the market like we've grown it here. 2022, again, we're hoping to be in Birmingham and Huntsville with Dwella and CleanHop. And then have a lot more properties here in Montgomery as well.
Yes, sir. Sound good. Those are great short-term and long-term goals for both businesses, and that's good stuff. So let's get to the $1 million question as we wrap up the podcast. I started this podcast because I wanted to create a platform to shed light on the greatness coming out of the city, whether you live there, you're born there, you came to Montgomery for a significant portion of your life, whether that be for college. You growing up right up the street from Montgomery and Prattville, you essentially grew up in Montgomery. So let's talk about what's something you learned in your upbringing that you've been able to carry with you throughout your entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, so growing up in a large family, I was raised to be pretty independent. So my mom was extremely structured. We were homeschooled. I was homeschooled 1st through 12th grade, and it was crazy because she would wake us up at 7 on the dot, Monday through Friday. Before we could even eat breakfast, we had a list of chores. She had a checklist for us that we had to do. Whether that took an hour or 2 hours, we couldn't eat breakfast until we had it done. To some people, that may sound like that's crazy, but it really helped me learn to be independent and just learn basic life skills. Just housework and how to take care of a house and take care of a family, and learn things with my dad, how to fix cars, and he's huge into that. Has always had a garage in our backyard that he's always working on something, and I just learned a lot from both of my parents, and I think that benefited me a lot through college. I had people that lived in my dorm that didn't even know how to start a washing machine, and which was a little crazy to me. I was like, it's like says it right there on the machine, and that, I think just being the independent and having those basic skills really has benefited me to just come to where I'm at now. So,
man, that's powerful stuff, man. And like you were saying, just that whole notion of having a set of chores when you wake up and not being able to eat until they were done. That doesn't sound crazy at all to me. It sounds like mom was just teaching you all responsibility and that you don't get anything for free.
Yeah, well,
free
it's
lunch.
just kind of forced to. I mean, when you have 8 or 9 kids at the time too, you got to have some kind of structure, or else it's just going to be mass chaos. So,
no, that's great stuff, man. That's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So how can the people connect with you, Luke? What are your social media handles?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram only. Maybe be back on Twitter here. I'm looking into that since apparently Elon Musk just bought Twitter. So that's all over the news today, I've been seeing. Facebook, Luke Easley. Excuse me. Facebook, I'm Luke Easley, and Instagram is at Luke of Easley. And I used to have a YouTube channel a long time ago, but I quit that. It wasn't for me.
Understood. And of course, I put all of social media information in the description of the episode. Hey, Luke, thanks again for the conversation, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good meeting you and good talking with you. And hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yes, sir. We'll do. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. We gone, but before we leave, remember, be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.